It has been a little while since we've done a stream, so let me get set up here. I wanted to make today's live stream titled Find Happiness Now, or maybe it's Have Happiness Now. I can't remember exactly what I titled it, but I had this really interesting awareness that I gained the other day where a mentor of mine where's my phone? Anyway, a mentor of mine asked me a bunch of questions. They were asking me questions like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And then they would ask me questions like, why do you want it? Why do you want it? Why do you want that? How do you feel when you get that? And how do you imagine you'll feel when you get that? And I did this a bunch of times, and at the final, the main conclusion of every single answer was this idea, ultimately, not a material thing, but a personal thing, a personal self-fulfillment idea, an idea of happiness, finding joy. Why do you want the things that you do? Because you believe that they will give you a feeling, a level of joy. And as simple as that sounds, we all know that we as people want to be happy, but as simple as it sounds, I never really saw it in the way that I heard it, or thought about the way that I heard it during this mentoring moment. So I thought that was really interesting, and I thought I'd share that. But as we get set up here, I went plein air painting a little while ago, maybe almost a week ago, and all of my paintings are a little bit mixed up right now, so I need to reorganize them. So I want to do that real quick. Don't want to pop into here as I organize my supplies here. So we're going to put some of the white right up front here. Get the whites. And let's see, if we move over, we're definitely going to get some black. Put a white. And we're going to do some of our black. But, I've already shared thoughts about this idea of find happiness now. And I'll probably repeat it throughout this stream. This interesting awareness of anything that you want to do in life, or at least based on my experience with my mentor, ultimately comes down to one major thing: is a search for happiness, and it's a really interesting thing. I know it sounds like so obvious, right? Like obviously everyone just wants to be happy, right? But it's not. It wasn't until I had this moment with my mentor where he asked me the question like, "What do you want?" And he just kept asking me. What's up, Catherine Nicholas? Thank you so much. And then I was talking to my mentor, and he just kept asking me these questions, and I was getting bored of the questions actually, because they kept asking me the same thing. They kept asking me, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Well, I want to sell paintings." And then he would ask me like, "What do you want?" I want people to enjoy my paintings. I want to make great paintings. I want to be great at paintings. Like, what do you want? And he asked me again. And I was like, I don't know. I already said what I want. And he's like, no, what do you want? So you're allowed to have something else. He's like, I want to be able to travel and do cool stuff. And then, after a few times, maybe a few minutes of this, we would go into another conversation. Like, why do you want those things? Why do you want what you want? And then I would have these answers like, oh, well, I think that if I could get better paintings, I could sell more paintings. Or if I could get more shows, I could get my work in front of more people. And it was all these really logical steps, right? When you think about artwork, career, business, anything. And then he would ask me, like, what do you want when you get those things? Like, what do you want? Why do you want it? And he would ask me a couple times, why do you want that? Why do you want that? What do you think you're going to feel when you want it? Or when you finally get it? And that was where it all came together for me after maybe like an hour of doing this exercise. And it wasn't all verbal. It was, mostly like written. But after an hour or so of like doing these exercises, I came to this conclusion: when you really ask yourself, what is it that you want from anything that you want to achieve, whether it's money, success, relationships, I don't know, anything, whatever it is that you want out of life, a scholarship, any of those things, eventually it all leads down to one major thing, and that is the desire for happiness. And that was a powerful idea for me. A very powerful idea that maybe I had taken for granted, but, of course, it's really important to find that answer for yourself, but obviously, way more important to find an answer like that for yourself than to hear someone else talk about it. So I just wanted to share that, though. It was an interesting thing that I happened to discover, and it almost sounds kind of crazy. So like, what now, right? Like, oh, well, if I could just pretend to be happy right now, if I could just pretend to feel good, pretend to have a level of joy right now, then, what's the point of anything? Why would I do anything? And that's ultimately the biggest question. Hey, Michael Wilbur, I see you. I just am on a roll right now of my thought process. And I came to this conclusion, I think ultimately it's the choice of doing something. And that is ultimately, the thing that separates the search for happiness, which you can already have right now, versus the choice to just do something for the reason that it makes you happy. So it was an interesting situation for me. I highly recommend anyone who can to do a similar exercise. I can't exactly provide the resources that my mentor gave me because it is proprietary content to them specifically. However, if I ever do find something, I will share it. But for now, maybe the time is not right for someone watching this to hear this message, and therefore they will not seek it out, and I cannot provide it. So, but one day, maybe when you're searching, you'll hear something similar, and you'll be like, "Wow, okay, yeah, no, I kind of get it." I don't think anyone ever truly gets it, or very few people truly get it. I don't claim to get it, but I claim to understand a little bit more. So, not more than the average person, or not less, but just more than I did before. Anyway, where do we go with this? I'm trying to organize my supplies right now because when I do plein air painting, all my paints tend to get mixed up. Here, so trying to reorganize right now. Just a little bit. That's the one thing that's challenging about painting outdoors is, getting your supplies together, and then, having an organized system, and then it all gets mixed up because you go out. But anyways, let's see, we got my yellows, my greens. And honestly, I don't even need to organize it that much. I just need to get at least a little bit situated for now. I've got a lot of white here, a lot of white right there, green. I'm hiding my face because I don't want y'all to see how ugly I am. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Everybody is beautiful in their own unique way. Alright, so let's see. This is blue. We've got our blues, our greens, our ultramarines. blues or browns. Blues, greens, browns. And let's go ahead and pop this out. So Michael Wilbur has said, live in a moment, there's no past or future. Very powerful. Michael is obviously a very conscious person. And he has an idea of what I'm talking about. So very cool. There we go. Berlin, people will change only when they are ready to make change. So several sets packed for home. Ah, yes, that's the right way to go about it. Have stuff packed for multiple sessions. That's right. All right, so we are getting started now. Just getting my supplies resituated. Takes a minute. I have been doing art though. I haven't been painting, but I've definitely been, drawing and things. I try to keep myself consistent with art, even if I may not be totally consistent with painting. And oh my goodness, it smells like straight up chlorine. So we're gonna air this out a little bit. Try to air it out of the room. Like straight up chlorine. I think, a combination of the oil paint and mineral spirits really creates this scent that can get locked in if you use a sealable palette. But I have all my windows and doors open right now, so it's important to paint in a well ventilated space if you're using oils. There's that. I need a drink of water. Oh, my paint brushes. My glorious little paint brushes. Where hast thou been? It's getting stuck here. Here we go. But you know what, Michael, a challenge to that is the idea that there will be consciousness before and after. There was consciousness before you and there was consciousness after you. I don't truly get that yet, but you know what? I think it's true. So let me get another drink of water here. Stop. Cat tries so hard to be cute. All right, so are we finally gonna get started yet? Yes, I think so. Hopefully some of my paint's still wet. Let's see. I haven't painted in about a week. I haven't opened my palette, and let's just see if any of this paint is even still wet or available. It still works. My brushes are okay. Oh. So important to paint in a well-ventilated room, people, when you're using oils. So important. Don't forget that. That's one thing. If you cannot get good ventilation in your space, consider a different medium. But let's get started. I'm going to use this it's an Utrecht brush. I'm going to just use the little brushy brush here. And let's just go into some of these figures. So this is an unusual space right here. So I want to add in a little bit of a darker shadow. Oh, hey, it's still wet. Some of my paints are still wet. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just so amazing? So it's gotten a little bit thick. I think some water. Well, when I was painting last time, I was painting with water. There was water with oil paints because it was raining out. And I just believe that some of the oil paints got wet with water, and I don't know if that helped keep it dry, but this does have an effect, so that's kind of cool. Hey. She returns. I am painting.
Good.
Just to let you know.
Oh, the hand I show, you got it. I'm bearing gifts.
Yeah?
Yes.
Very cool. Thank you.
Here's some fries.
Oh, I already started painting. Oh, for later?
Yeah.
They're going to... Okay, cool.
It's not hot. I have to...
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hi, are you
That sounds
watching?
exciting.
Who's watching?
Yeah, Pookie, she's... So I heard this tip on YouTube that if your cat's always constantly getting in the way of like your work, like if you're on a table and they're constantly trying to bug you, that the one trick is to give them something to sit on, because all they want to do is like be around you.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know?
good idea.
Their main thing is that they just want to be around you. So if you can give them like a platform of which to kind of hang around.
Looks like it worked.
Yeah, so far.
Awesome. That's great. Look at you. Yes. Okay.
So going into here and just adding some of the darker spaces. Let me see if everybody can get up close. This, you know, my very favorite part is this leg right here, because I was able to create this like shadowy look along the leg. Yeah, we're doing what?
Pushing the papers over here so they're not visible.
Oh, okay.
If I don't see them, I don't think about nagging them. Out. Hey, boy. In there.
And this is just like, the details that I'm adding are kind of minor right now. But I'm just getting, you know, I haven't painted in about a week. I'm drawing, but I haven't been painting. So, you know, when you break out of your mindset, especially when you change your painting, you kind of got to get back into the flow of things. So that's kind of what I got to do right now, is just get back into that flow. Just going very light with everything, you know. Getting back into the flow. Adding some shadows to add like a little definition.
Hey.
Yo, Omizu, howdy, howdy. Yes, thank you about the coffee shop show. It's very exciting. It's a very great, wonderful feeling. It is very joyous. Feel very good about it. To be able to contribute art in a community of people is very exciting. And I hope that everyone that wants that experience gets to experience it this year. I hope that everyone watching this, let's all, I will help do the manifestation for all of you. That everyone that wants this, that wants to be able to have an art exhibition this year or within the year, the next year, you got 365 days from now. That if you want one, you will have one. Okay, so
Also got this.
Mold and mildew. Yes, very good idea. Landlords did say they were going to come and paint the walls.
They did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He told me, he was like, yeah, we'll come and we'll have somebody come and paint the wall. But obviously, they're not doing it. It's always a good day when you can share your work with the world. Oh, powerful message. Very, very powerful. Let me find another brush. Let's see here. I think someone who needs to be tightened up is the female figure there. So let's see what we can do about her. Let's start by try to get some good focus in her right now. Let's get some focus. How should we do this? I'm gonna take this shadow. And let's put it where it needs to go. Let's see. And here we go around the shoulder, the top of the shoulder here. We're going to go like that. And we're going to come up. And then right as the shoulder comes forward, this is actually a little bit longer than in the actual reference. That's okay. So we're going to come around, that little bit of a muscular definition there. A little bit of separation between two bodies here. Through shadow. And let's see, where are some other deep shadows that I can find on this figure that I can mold into our image here. Is that where we have some of our deepest shadows? Yeah, that's where some of the deepest shadows go. Let me see. Come around here. And then around the front of this. Are you talking to yourself?
Yes.
What are you and yourself talking about?
Of a slogan. We used to just in a commercial
Yeah.
time ago. It's time to make the donuts.
Okay.
This
Uh-huh.
like a Mario Brothers looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Dunkin' Donuts, and he would come on the screen looking like he had just crawled out of bed, and he was like, "Time to make the donuts."
Okay. Interesting.
It's funny.
Sounds funny.
When you're tired, that's a good expression.
It's time to make the donuts. Are you gonna go take a nap? And then let's see how we can get just the right color into this. I'll dull the shadow down a little bit. A more natural skin tone. Hmm. Kind of this little separation of colors in between the arms. I gotta figure out at some point. Honestly, about all the figures, you thought you were gonna have a portrait commission, but it turned out to be a scam. Oh man. So how long did it take you to discover that it was a scam? Yeah, those are the worst.
Trying to get money from him
Yeah.
to start the painting or something?
Yeah, how did you, what was your hint? What was your clue, dude?
Water?
He said, yeah.
And he did.
Well, there's water by the other food bowls.
You want a bath?
Plenty of water.
Simba, you want a bath? You didn't say no?
He didn't say no.
Scout. No. No.
Who's that, Simba?
Scout.
And let's add some highlights here. And then let's see, we're gonna go like this, tighten up this section right here. And then Just gotta make this section feel a bit more natural. About midway through the correspondence, when it came down to sending the deposit, they had issues going through Venmo, sent your pic saying it failed and that they needed the email address. Okay, I mean, yeah. See that being starting to go towards scam territory for sure. See if we could add little hints of red into this. This arm's looking a bit janky. I almost feel like the rain was good for my brushes, getting all that water into my brush. Yeah. Cats are so happy that you're home. Manage this little section right there. Oh. All right, so you had a feeling, yeah, you know, that's smart. Sometimes you got to just cut the cord, you know. It's like if you're getting bad vibes, you know, you just got to be like, okay. And it is one of the hardest things because it's like on one hand, you never know, even though you kind of know, but you never really know. And then it's like, how do you end it? Like, you got to be really bold, right? You just got to like really know like when a scam is a scam and be like, okay, I need to report this person so they don't scam anybody else. And then I need to make sure that I block them as well. You gotta go, yeah, I mean, you have to be a little bit of a jerk to scammers, you know? It's like, it's sad, it's a sad reality. And I do feel bad for all the really, really, really nice people out there who, you know, are also can't, like, fathom that someone would run such a scam. And, you know, be so nice, and they stick with it to the very end, and, you know, they actually do get scammed out of it. I really feel bad.
My friend Ida got scammed. Dating website.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
She actually gave money and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Yep, that's how you do it. Like, build up your trust and confidence over for quite a while, because she said they've been talking for 2 months. And she was newly single, so she didn't have the street smarts.
Yeah. It's a perfect target.
Yeah.
Perfect target. You checked out the profile's fake and they had 3 friends. Those accounts are all fake. Yeah. That'll do it. That's a good hint, man. All fake accounts, fake profiles, fake friends. It's all, you know, that is one thing as far as people like, you know, go and talk about social media and like criticize it, and you know, so many problems with it, but at the same time, you know, it is a quick way to get to like know people, like, you know, are they real? You know, are they fishy? What kind of person are they? Really get to know somebody really quickly. They do play off your emotions. That's like the most powerful, you know, tool of manipulation, is playing on people's emotions. It's the most powerful tool, not just for manipulation, right? Like if used the right way, you know, it's important, right? But understanding people, understanding emotion, understanding, you know, that power. Emotion is more powerful than money. You know, money will get people to do things for you, but stirring up people's emotions will cause them to become totally loyal to you. Totally loyal, and, you know, whatever else.
They play into your desire.
Pookie! Scout, what the heck are you doing, Scout? He's chewing at my my tripod.
The scammers play on your what you desire.
Right. Well, yeah, that too. What you want the most.
Yeah.
True. Good point. Yeah, it's not just emotions, but.
That's emotion. Like, oh, you have the look to be a model, or we would love to use you in our advertising campaign. We would love to make you the cover face of blah, blah, blah. All we need from you is...
Right.
And we're going to give you all this free stuff. You just have to send us some money for the shipping. Shipping is very expensive, but it's worth it. Then you get the product, and the product.
Well, you know, if you get something out of it, then it's not like a scam.
Right, but if you get something that's really low quality, that doesn't work, like it says it's going to
Right, that's a
and
scam.
you want to return it, but the company really doesn't exist, so you can't return it. And you didn't buy
Thought I said crack pipe.
What?
Okay. Somebody said they thought I said crack pipe.
Oh, no.
We definitely did not say crack pipe.
No.
That is not what we said.
If you want to return the crappy product, there's no way to get a hold of the company anymore.
Right. Now that sounds more like a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam. So you've got the crappy product that you don't want, but you pass it on to somebody else. What do you think?
So right now I'm adding shadows into this space here. Or not shadows, just like these little dark crevices that kind of disappear into the background. Just these dark little crevices. Today I'm thinking, right now I'm thinking about the most contradicting advice that you ever get in art. And the only thing that I could come up with, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, but the first thing that comes to mind is some people will say, oh, all you need are primary colors and you can mix any color. You don't need more than a few tubes of paint. But then you'll hear people talk about mixing colors and they'll say, you should never use white. You should have the exact lesser shade of that color. And you know, what does that mean? That means you have to have multiple shades of a single color, which means you can't just have primary colors. So, you know, there's some contradiction there. But of course, you know, they're two separate contexts, two separate situations. But I think it's just so amusing how, like, you know, you could get so sucked into the study of art and the study of, and hear all this different advice from different people, and it could totally suck you in, and you know, you get lost in a sea of wisdom. And then you find out that, you know, probably most people didn't even know what they were talking about. Which I guess is pretty normal. People not knowing what they're talking about, that's pretty normal, right? So let's see, what do I need here? Okay, I need to add this color in between the head here and the hair, her head and hair. So let's go like this. AR said, he thought I said crack pipe. Ha, 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 ha. Don't do drugs, people. This is, I do not condone the use. Condone. This is not, do not do things like that, okay? It's bad for you.
Don't do drugs. I refer to myself.
Personally, I rarely even drink.
It's true.
Drugs are bad. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go paint in this space around the head. It's really gonna help us define the shape of our figures. A tube of something dropped.
From where?
From over here. So yes, this. Huh?
What if you can ice cream?
Hmm.
Half a gallon for $5? That's okay. That's an okay price.
She loves bragging about the deals that she gets. It's her personality. I think my mom's dream job would just to be to shop deals all day.
There are jobs like that.
Like how? Well, like what?
They're called the super shopper. You ever heard of that?
Yeah. But it's not the shopping that she cares about. It's the getting the deal that she takes pride in.
I'm sure she can find a way to make a business out of that. Personal shopper for teenagers.
Yeah, well, she's also too shy to make a YouTube channel, so.
That's what she say that?
No, I just know her personality. She would never make a YouTube channel about all the great deals that she
I
gets.
think she would. Somebody paid her to.
All right, well, you got to do it before people will pay you to do it. That's,
Yes, I
you
know.
know, there's a catch-22 there.
Hey, hello, little bird. Looks like you've gone through your bird seed again. And you're mad at me. Yep, I see the body language. Bird body language. You're like,
Right now, I'm ultimately looking to try to tighten up some of the spaces around our figures here. That's the goal. Add in some nice deep shadows. Will I ever be finished this painting? I don't know. Maybe not. What if this is my forever painting? Who knows?
Sistine Chapel.
Took 16 years. I almost feel obligated to spend even more time on this just because the Sistine Chapel took 16 years. I feel like I should take at least like 1 year. Just to, you know, hone this painting. And maybe we all need a project that kind of takes forever, you know, that just takes a very, very extended amount of time. Is that proper English? Very, very an extended amount of time. Is that proper English? Doth thou approve of my English? Let's see if we can brush some of these spaces here to spread out and reduce some of the luster of these colors here. We're gonna come in here. I think it's funny how the AR Capital literally just came in here just to tell me that he said that he thought I said crack pipe. Like AR Capital is definitely the class clown. You know, they're like he'll be asleep in class the whole time, and the moment the teacher thinks of something funny, or like the moment the teacher says something funny, or the student can make fun of it, there goes AR Capital popping up with his hilarious insight. Now, I think all teachers secretly like the class clowns. know, because how can you not like somebody who like makes everybody laugh? Even, I mean, I guess if it's at your expense, but like if it's not at your expense, you know, you can't like, yeah, who doesn't like a good class clown? The class clown. Always disrupting everybody's education. Can't not like a class clown. Class clowns are the best. Now, I'm not talking, you know, the class like, you know, the class person who totally ruins it for everybody. But one thing about the class clown will never remind the teacher about the homework that they forgot to give out. Right? Like, there's always a student who will be like, hey, you know, you forgot to give us the homework just as class is ending. And, you know, the teacher totally would have forgotten, and it would have been absolutely perfect. Nobody would have had homework. And you can always trust the class clown. The class clown will never accidentally make everybody suffer and have to do the homework. But there is someone that will. An ode to the class clown. If you're a class clown, good on you. You're allowed to clown in here. Class clowns welcome. That should be a sign. That should be a corporate motivational poster, like class clowns welcome. We welcome class clowns. As long as you don't ruin the business. As long as you don't totally sink our business, you're welcome. You know what? I think that's what I mean. Like, I often make live streams and I say trolls welcome. I think that's what I mean when I say like trolls welcome. It's you know, class clowns welcome. Internet clowns welcome. Internet jokesters. You're welcome in this live stream. As long as your jokes are good. And not overly offensive. You're very welcome to be here to share your jokes with the world. So I need to define some of these areas right now. We're going to come down here. Let's make it a little bit lighter. We're going to use a yellow ochre here. Water and oil paints do not mix well. They kind of turn into like this. They turn into like a weird texture. It's really unusual. I can't really explain it. It's like there's a film on top, but it's like not a oil slick film. It's something else. Hard to define. And if you can't avoid it, avoid it. I was painting in the rain the other day, and you know, I wasn't gonna pack my stuff up and just quit just because of the rain. So I decided that I was gonna paint with the rain. It got all up in my paintings and everything. But it was great. I loved it. I loved painting in a nice little drizzle. I won't do it every day. I won't even do it, you know, once a year. But, you know, I would do it again if the challenge arose and I had like a good reason to. I would do it again. Because it does help you to paint like a specific atmosphere, I feel. There's an atmosphere when you're painting in the rain that really can't be copied if you're painting indoors. It's like, it's just, you know, you can't just copy the feeling of a rainy day, painting in a rainy day. The fog and everything. It's just different. So, sadly, our friend Omizu has a story to tell about scammers, but good to know, how they operate. How they do it, especially in arts, because I think artists, aside from lonely people, who are, lonely and like they need somebody to talk to, and I've heard stories of someone just, living alone somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they meet somebody online, they talk and they get manipulated into, sending them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And aside from those people, honestly, I think probably artists are probably one of the most vulnerable. Artists are probably some of the most vulnerable people to scams, because a lot of us try to find our work online. A lot of artists, us, them, whoever, artists are, intrinsically are like nice and, have a certain personality that, we seek certain things. Not every artist is like this, right? But I think in general, artists do seek like a validation element. And when someone does validate our work, it could be, this is just humans in general, right? Like any human who has their work validated, whether it be for business or like science or whatever, instantly we kind of lower our shields. And how can you be rude to that person if they're contacting you online for a commission, right? You can't. It's not human nature to instantly reject somebody like that. But especially as artists, because we build our businesses online, and the internet's such a scam. Not the internet's a scam, but like there's so many scammers on the internet that know this, that it could be so easy to artists are very vulnerable. But yeah, very disheartening. It's not real for sure. And you know what? I think there has to be, a combination of maintaining that that positive attitude while still becoming a little, I don't want to say hardened, but I can't really think of a better word, like, more privy or savvy of the internet scams, I think, right? There has to be a combination somewhere between, you don't want to be a total jerk to everybody, because then, sometimes, but there is a certain way that scammers write that is, sometimes kind of obvious to me, but maybe not obvious to everybody. And then, how do you maintain that positive attitude? So, Omizu, here's a question for you, man. And I don't know if you're doing this, but, how in your mind do you feel is the appropriate way to maintain a good attitude in this situation now that you've had this experience? What is your method of, bouncing back after this situation? And of course, I have my own answers, and maybe you don't have to share it, or maybe you want to share it, or maybe you haven't bounced back and you don't feel like, being nice to people on the internet ever again. Alright, so let's see. This figure is looking okay. I think he needs a little bit more red and yellow. So let's add some red yellows into this body here. Add some pink into the body here. Right there. And let's add some yellow here. Here's yellow ochre.
Ah!
And a little bit more white into this. I might be overpainting some of these areas, I don't know. It's like I see a different color every single time I start painting. See different colors. Is that normal? Is that normal to see different colors every time I paint?
For now, fresh gold. Irma's coming, so I'm gonna clean the cave. Bang my toes.
Alright, well, Amizi doesn't have an answer, so I guess we're all out of hope. Just kidding. Alright, let me find a good combination of light in here. We're gonna go brighten up this color here. Oh, what?
Melissa sent me a picture of, she's staying at her house tonight. She's in her bed with her dog and her TV.
Oh. And it looks nice?
Yeah, it looks great.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a happy moment.
Yeah.
It's a moment for you to be proud of. Isn't that special? Are you gonna cry?
No.
Huh?
You're gonna cry?
Why?
Save tears for when I get there.
Very special moment. So precious. Maybe add a little bit of red into this forehead here. Ah, the arm of God is looking real. Thank you. Great job on the hands. Appreciate you. Wow, Michael with all these compliments. Thanks, Michael. Michael. King of compliments. See, Michael would be a good scammer.
My brother?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Michael Wilbur. Michael Wilbur is not a scammer, but I'm just saying. Michael Wilbur knows how to give compliments. Knows how to give great, fantastic compliments. And you know what? That if like there's some people that don't need to scam. There's some people that are so good with people that they don't need to scam people. Because you'll just give them your money because you feel like they want, you know. Have you ever like seen a radio or a TV or a radio personality and you're like, yeah, I want to give that person some money, you know? Have you ever watched, you know, your favorite actor on a movie and you're like, you know what? I know they're faking it. I know they're just pretending to be a character in that movie. I know, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is not really Iron Man, but hey, does a great job of pretending to be Iron Man, and I'm willing to give him $25 plus, you know, a ticket to Disney so I can see the Iron Man Marvel event, plus, you know, buy an entire costume made of Iron Man paraphernalia and decorate my whole room with, you know, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, you know, stuff, right? Like there's some people, this is just an example, there's some people that you're cool with giving your money to. They're just so either talented or good with words, or you know, some quality about them that they don't even need to run a scam. Like they could just sit there and, you know, just talk and you would pay to watch them talk, right? Was the comment a euphemism? What do you mean? What comment? I don't know. I'm lost. You've lost me. You've lost me to not understanding what you're talking about. What do I need to do here? Like, this looks kind of funky. Body here. There's like all this like red. It looks like he's got a bad sunburn. Exactly. No need to scam if you believe in what you're selling. But you know, it's like why do scammers scam? They're so lame. Scammers are lame. Scammers should go find something better to do than trying to steal people's money. Huh?
Talking to myself.
Because
when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Not necessarily.
Okay, babe.
I've had people scowl at me when they're smiling.
Sure, we've all had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure we've all had that experience.
It's weird, isn't it? Like you try to be friendly and nice and they smile and then they give you a I'm unhappy. Don't you dare. Chores.
Ice cubes to Eskimos. Yeah, some people could sell ice cubes to Eskimos. But you know what? If you have the ability to sell ice cube to Eskimos, why would you waste it trying to do something so, like, pointless, right? Like, if you could sell ice cubes to Eskimos, you should be selling, you know, you should be selling a millionaire on giving bikes to children. You know, I saw this this news article the other day, or I saw this on the news the other day, where players from the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, gave an entire school district, the kids of an entire school district, bicycles. You know, and someone had to convince them that that would be a good idea, or maybe one of them came up with it. I don't know exactly how it happened, but like, you know, if you have the ability to sell something, you know, why not sell ideas like that, right? Like, if you're so good, why not sell something meaningful, something that'll actually, like, contribute to society, right? Not a scam. Sell something useful. Sell something that actually, you know, help society, not take away while providing nothing back. There's so many, like, if you have the ability, do something meaningful versus just selling ice to Eskimos. You know, why not sell something more valuable?
Everything's fine. Look at you.
I open my eyes and it's
There's somebody at the door. You're outside the door like a dog.
What's going on? Was I about to die? Was my son about to die? Or my kids about to die? Everything's fine.
Like, if you have to resort to selling ice to Eskimos, just find something better to sell, I guess is what I'm saying.
What's going on? Was I about to die? Was my son about to die?
Planting a mental seed that everyone wants to give to, that's your goal, to change the world, planting seeds. Amazing, Michael. There you have it, everybody. Michael just wants to improve the world, to give to the world. There you go, one comment at a time. So I'm trying to think, like, what color would go in here that would help to blend everything. I need like a little, just a standard little color. Maybe a gray. I think a gray might actually work.
I see a dog.
What about a dog?
There's a post by Jackson Galaxy. You know, there's the cat guy.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but go on.
He does the show on My Captain Health. He's a cat expert.
Okay.
So he posted this picture of a piece of wood, but there's a face in the wood. And he says, if you're right-brained, you'll see a rabbit. If you're left-brained, you'll see a fish. I see a dog. So what does that mean? I have no brain? What do you see?
I think the whole point of this is to get people to comment and say, I see a dog. What does that mean?
Yeah, how does that look like a fish?
That's the whole shtick. Is to get people to comment and say, you know, to act on people's insecurities.
Yeah, I see a dog, I see a bear, I see a white poodle.
It's literally just to get people to act on their insecurities.
Right. Polar bear, dog, white lab, dog.
Like, when I see stuff like that, I'm like instantly, okay, I see a dog. I don't care what you say. I'm not gonna fall into your comment bait.
If you have no brain, you post this. Yep. Hilarious. Oh, that's so cute. This Thai sailor who was rescuing the Royal Thai Navy quickly responded to rescue 8 crew members on a fishing boat that caught fire, and he saved the 4 cats on the boat by putting them on his back.
Oh, that's a cute story. Okay, let's see. I need the belly button here. Just a little bit of a belly button.
Okay, that's true.
Alright, grayish black with a little blue added. Maybe. Grayish blue with a little blue added. Grayish black with a little blue added. Let's add a little highlight into here. Give him some 6-pack abs. This little angel cherub has. Everybody's got abs in ancient Greece. Alright, let's see. I need to tighten up this guy. If I could tighten up this guy, I think... If I could tighten up this guy, I would be like... Alright, I can finish any day now. I would feel good about finishing virtually any day. If I could tighten up that guy. He is my moral dilemma here, this figure.
Here.
Right here. How are we feeling about? I wonder how I'm feeling about his clothes. The wrinkles look okay. I don't need it to match exactly, but I do want, you know, to capture some of the details that are in the original. Watching videos. Videos are for kids.
I like videos.
Videos are for kids. Oh yeah, so you know, I want to go back to this. This, I don't know if the title of this live stream is "Have Happiness Now" or "Find Happiness Now," or "Find Good Now," or I don't remember the name of the that I titled this stream. But I want to revisit that idea. I want to revisit the concept, the idea of why I even titled this live stream the way I did, and ultimately. The key reason is because I had a session with a mentor the other day, and this isn't like a painting mentor or anything like that, just like general life stuff. And they had me do this like exercise, mostly written. They had me do this exercise where I was sitting, and you know there was questions that I was reading through, and the questions were things like, what do I want? And I think in the context, you know, of that session, it was like, what do I want from him? What do I want from the session, right? You can answer this however, but that's what I was taking it as. So my answer started out, you know, pretty like, oh, what do I want from the session? And they didn't give me more guidance. They allowed me to have whatever answer that came to my mind. And then they would ask me the same thing, like, what do I want? And they asked me a bunch of times, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? They asked me, what do you want specifically? A therapist. Yeah, a therapist can sometimes be a mentor in my book. I mean, anybody who helps you through life situations can be a mentor. But back to what I was saying. And they asked me, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And this happened a couple of times, and then they would say, why do you want that? Why do you want what you want? Why do you want what you want? Why do you want that? And then there was a few other formats of questions, and it would go into, you know, how are you going to feel when you finally get that? How do you actually feel when you finally reach that destination of those big goals? And, you know, the most interesting thing was that no matter what I asked, no matter what we talked about, at the end of the day, if I kept going down, if we went down a rabbit hole over and over and over again, this was over the course of like an hour where I was thinking of these answers, you know, ultimately, at the end of the day, at the end of every answer, the ultimate feeling, the only reason why anybody really does anything is to find a sense of happiness. You know, why do you want a nice boat? Why do you want to be a great painter? Why do you want to be a basketball player? Why do you want to, you know, and you know, some things will lead to bigger things, right? Like, oh, I want to make more money so that I can, you know, take better care of my family, so I can go on more trips, so that I can give back more to the community, so I can do all these things. Okay, well, like if you keep figuring out really why people want to do those things, it's really just to feel good. You know, it feels good to give. It feels good to be able to provide. It feels good to, you know, do all these things. And, you know, me explaining this is kind of like defeats the purpose, because this isn't something that someone can tell you, right? Like, why do I want to suck air? Because it feels good. It feels good to live, you know? But it's one of those things where, like, if someone explains the story, you know, I'm kind of defeating the purpose, because it's like obvious, right? I told my girlfriend this the other day, and she's like, well, yeah, obviously everyone just wants to be happy. That's obvious. Like, why would you even tell me that? It's so obvious. But I think, but my argument was that, you know, the truth is it's obvious, but it's one of those things that's like taken for granted, right? Like, it's obvious that the sun is going to come up every day, but, you know, when was the last time you actually thought about all the great things that the sun does to provide, right? It's one of those things. So anyway, I really like this insight that I had.
Stop watching videos, Catherine. Watching videos.
So anyway, that was my personal insights on happiness. If you can do the exercise, you know, I recommend it. Like, don't just let me say this to you, like, hey, you know, actually, it's probably better if you forget this whole conversation ever happened and then do the exercise, because do an exercise like that, you know, hopefully someone here finds that this similar exercise, I don't know, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and then maybe they do it and they're just like, oh, I get it. That would be ideal, because I don't want to influence too much the thought process here. Why am I so scared of painting this face? I don't know. I'm like intimidated by painting this face because it's like, it's got such weird details, I think. It has the weirdest details, this face here. Let me just not be a wimp and just paint it. Just do it. Just do it. So girlfriend last week, partner, girlfriend, partner, etc. Girlfriend. I like to change it up. I change it up because I think in Los Angeles, in California, people always call them the partner because they don't want to use genders. Or I think people in Los Angeles are actually, you know, I will say this, and it might sound controversial in California, but it's not controversial in, like, you know, Texas or Alabama. But using genders, labeling people with genders is risky in Los Angeles. Or it feels risky. It feels risky. Using labeled genders in Los Angeles is feels like you could really offend somebody. It does. It does. It really does. You have to call, yeah, you have to call people they or them, or
It's not proper English. Really calling them dick.
So, you know, and this isn't social commentary or anything. I mean, it's just the culture of Los Angeles. To me, it is what it is. If I was to move to Texas, I would adapt to the culture in Texas. If I was to live in Alabama, I would adapt to the culture in Alabama. If I was to live in Iowa or Alberta, Canada, I would adapt to the the culture of Alberta, Canada, whatever that means. But especially in California, using the correct gender pronouns is the difference between, you know, there's a difference between
There's no emotion, there's no feeling going through her. It's just
having someone
she did.
give you a lecture about something, or
She did it,
just having a chill day.
but obviously I sat outside her door for the rest of the night to make sure.
Michael says if I lived in Alabama, well, I don't have a sister, so you know, there's that.
Knowing that somebody like Natalia was living 2 doors down from me and has
So yeah, good thing I don't have a sister.
tried to kill her family.
All right, let's try to get some shadows, right? I said I was gonna do shadows, and then I totally didn't even do shadows.
It's mind-blowing. You think you know everybody. You lived here for so long. You don't know everybody. You don't know anybody. You don't know anything.
It really has me
But
trapped.
it's very scary.
So here we go.
So we start going through lots of therapy. You start going through plausible deniability. You start to convince yourself.
All right, let's get this.
She didn't harm us. This might seem strange. We never, ever said let's take her back. We thought we could help things. We thought we could improve things. We went up one morning and Natalia is suddenly in happy at Barney Park family. And she asks Christine, is there anything I can do to help? You're doing the dishes. Can I help do the dishes? So Christine says, sure. We appreciate that. Thank you. So Natalia gets on a stool and starts rinsing the dishes off the sink. Christine goes to another room for a moment and she's got a coffee cup sitting on the counter. Christine comes back in. Christine screams. I come racing downstairs. I see a bottle of pledge. I see Christine's coffee cup, and Christine trying to drink it and instantly pasted pledge. Cleaning supplies have been poured into Christine's coffee cup. Christine is screaming at her. Natalia, why didn't you do this? And she just says, plain old straight out, I'm trying to kill you, I'm trying to poison you.
Yeah, I certainly have that instinct now. Like, I can't really share a drink with someone unless I've seen the sources of it for the entire time. Well, it's probably rooted in this fear that Natalia is coming to, like, poisonous. I guess I haven't really figured out.
Jesus said, did you shadow ban yourself? Jesus, what are you talking about, dude?
I think I would need a minute, I'm sorry.
Hey, Gamblin, Clark was telling you how many compliments she hears daily that makes you feel good. There you go. Everyone. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good exercise right now. Everybody, think of one thing that would make you feel good right now. And you know what? Maybe you have to lie to yourself. Maybe you have to, pretend about something. But, better to find something true. It's easier. But if you absolutely cannot find anything true to be happy about, maybe you have to lie to yourself.
New projects needs new project managers. You need to hire. Indeed.
Let me get some of this color again and try to get.
Still looking for the new job?
Well, it's funny you mention that. Just found out my dad's sister's husband is golfing buddies with a friend who's in Libra.
Everyone want to take a really fast test about what?
Sounds
I won't
fun.
commit to any testing until I know what it is. Unless it's paid research.
Indeed helps you match based on
If
what
you want to do paid research on me, I'm down. What's the compensation? How much will you pay me to get insight into my brain?
Early on with Natalia, she was doing as many things as possible to cause hurt or harm or mental distress to Natalia. I got my adoptive daughter trying to poison and kill my wife. We have hackers standing over my bed with a knife. She's clearly dangerous. At this point, what we do, we take her to the stress center. She's behind a psychiatric doctor. And so, at this point in time, we had already begun asking health professionals for help, trying to find guidance, trying to figure out her medication, and all we're told that every time was, is this. This doesn't go away. This doesn't change. And she can't escape.
Just say that's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Take her home.
There.
But they did say, you can't let me tell you the freedom of the house. You need to put a latch on the outside of the door. And anytime she needs food, bath, bathroom, whatever's needed, you need to escort her through the house. You cannot let her freely go to your home. At this point, we haven't done anything.
Michael Weber says 1 + 1 = 2,
We can't go.
2 + 2 = 4,
We can't go to the grocery
3
store.
+ 3 = 7.
Guard for things.
So Michael got me to say that 3 + 3 = 7.
So,
Okay.
my son's Ethan, my youngest son, loved cows. So, for his birthday, we find a place in Indianapolis that lets you milk your running cow.
All right. Well, it's a wonderful test.
Called Traders Point
You
Creek.
got me to say 3 + 3
We
=
get
7.
inside, and they say, we have some of these forms for you to sign. Out there where the cows are is an electric fence. And you have to say, you know there's an electric fence there. If you touch it and you get harmed, then you're not going to hold us liable. When they say that, Natalia's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. It's a scary fence out there. I have to sign this. So I happily signed to it. It's on a quarter mile from that building to where the fence starts. Everything's fine. The moment we get within 10 feet of the fence, Natalia suddenly can't walk again.
4, the walk on the trail, like, Natalia's first stay back.
So Christine decides, you're not doing it. It's perfect. Michael, you take the boys, you go on ahead. I will stay back here and I'll handle this. Myself and my 3 sons, we keep going, we keep going, we keep going. We're about 40, 50 yards down. I start hearing screaming. I turn to look. Natalia and Christine are in a physical altercation. It looks like Natalia's trying to pull Christine. Now, you might think, hey, she's a little person. How strong can she be? She uses her arms a lot. Push herself up on things. She goes up the stairs using her arms. She's got guns that shred you from the She's very strong.
All right, let's start painting this area around. I'm gonna grab, try to find our blue here.
Christine says no. Go. Okay. She wants my son to have his birthday. We go. And me and the boys double time it. We get a little bit farther down. And we hear the sirens. The second I heard the sirens, I thought Christine's dead. I think she's dead. And the police have arrived. Ambulance has arrived. And you can see Christine is there. Christine's very angry, very upset. Italia's overlooking the EMTs. And Italia are trying to put Christine to the fence. She was screaming out loud. How my language is to use words. You bitch, I'm gonna kill you. I'm going to kill you, bitch, you're gonna die. Christine's screaming at them. She was
7 was like everyone in life. We seem to only point out people's mistakes instead of the good they may bring into life. Why say 7? Why did I say 7? Why say 7?
to their face when they came to the 911 call and said, I'm trying to kill her.
You know what, Omizu? I mean, Michael, I'm still a bit lost on the
That's a little
what your explanation there is, but hey, let's run with it, man. Why not run with it?
But they stated we're not going to press charges. She's going to get a mental health evaluation.
I think she was already in the ambulance by the time I came back. I said, oh, well, I guess Ty's mental health was really off. It's good that she was in the hospital. I felt a sense of relief, like making me a little safer.
Christine has it. She has to go to a hospital long-term and get help. We didn't know how long. She can't come.
So, Kat, is she a murderer, or what's the...
No, she's not murdering anybody.
She's under
So, did they help her?
observation and care
No.
of 90 doctors and nurses.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
She a normally functioning human being?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to tell you, doctors, and I'm going to write this in a journal. I'm going to kill boys too.
Alright, there's so much violence in this show.
I'm going to stab them with a knife while they sleep. I'm going to drag their bodies out of the house and put them underneath the deck out there. They had to do this
Violent
picture
and-
immediately after being admitted to the Carter State Hospital. It says, "Bye is a good guy."
We're now getting to some of the fun stuff, which is applying color.
Was very manipulative. She could be sneaky at times.
That question is speak English, because you're functioning English, but another way around. I've never seen a fight with that. The game we're in, our backside, obviously, and she was fire. So when the first thing does this, she does that if you would care.
Kat's watching a story about a murderous child. Is that accurate, Kat?
Yeah. She poses a child to be a doctor.
She wasn't really a child.
Right. That's the premise. No one knows for sure because her birth certificate came from the Ukraine, and it was a forged document.
But they couldn't get rid of her.
Right.
Why? That's sad, huh?
Well, they tried to. They got her an apartment. They set her up in the apartment. They put her in the apartment. And they had her legally declared an adult. But she didn't know how to do anything that an adult could do. They bought her all this food, but she didn't know how to cook it. She didn't know how to open the cans. She didn't know what to do with it.
So what happened?
She was hungry.
She died?
She
She's
went
alive.
to, no, she didn't die. She went to see some neighbors.
So did they interview her on this?
Yeah. This is a different show than I was watching before. It's a different take on it. The other one was like a Lifetime movie series. It was acted out. This is a documentary.
And how do they paint her in the Lifetime movie?
The same way they're painting her in this.
A murderous.
Orphan or imposter. Is she a child or is she an adult? Because she has a disability. She's got dwarfism, which can change the hormonal reactions of her body. So just because she has pubic hair doesn't mean she's an adult. An 11-year-old can have pubic hair. You don't classify someone an adult based on it.
Okay.
So it's just weird. There's a lot of weird stuff, inconsistencies that don't really make any sense. And the theory is she's the one who faked everything so that she would get adopted and they would pay for her surgeries and take care of her.
But she's still alive.
Yeah.
And then she's not in jail.
No, she's a living, breathing person living a life. But as a child, what was going on with her? Like, she never had a Ukrainian accent. But supposedly she came from the Ukraine.
Sure.
She can't speak Ukrainian.
Okay.
So
How long ago was this?
it started in 2010. She was adopted in 2010 as supposedly a 7-year-old.
Oh, okay.
And in 2000, like 2 years later, in 2012, they had her declared a 22-year-old and put her in an apartment. So, anyway, it's just a mystery. It's kind of weird.
But they have her they have her interviews, so she can explain everything.
Yeah, she could, if she chooses to.
No says lately, good news, your place in Tacoma rented out again. Hope you've been. No, I'm talking to the viewers.
What time do you want to eat?
In an hour,
Things became very
maybe.
revealing for
What was going on?
for us. She talked about sex a lot.
Omi understands? Ask Omi.
She was on the table where there were a bunch of male patients there. She was
That is pretty wild. Like, you really have to. Yeah, it can be hard to meet the right people.
a boyfriend.
After a couple of weeks, we get a phone call from her. You gotta come get her. Why? Well, they're trying to be delicate with it. We've had this proposition. What are you talking about? It's to see the excitement of the unexpected. Just learning to experience what lies beyond. Fridays in April and May at Yalabon Resort Casino at San Manuel. Over $2 million, over 1,000 winners. Join Club Sorrel today and be part of Fridays at Yalabon Resort and Casino. From the #1 casino outside of Las Vegas. Details at Yalabon.com.
All right, let's get this moving along. We've got some momentum here. We're gonna build into this momentum and get into some of these other areas here.
So basically it's a lock.
Sounds promising.
Right? I thought you loved it. Yes. You get it.
Indeed helps you match based on what you know, not who you know.
Oh, thank goodness. Because I won't know I wouldn't have that easy.
I can tell.
Superior is meaning taste, worth playing. The global superior might be.
I know it's late. We'll have families, but I'm just going to keep talking.
Just that crayon. Crayon mango for you. Boss, you get one time if you admit script in an email. The title is up the new card.
We've been trying to get her to inpatient treatment. We have been begging people to help us. We've been told by everybody, you need help desperately. Your family's in danger. She needs inpatient
Yeah.
treatment. Great.
Great.
We're at an inpatient facility. That's fantastic. Can you help us now?
No.
So, Mr. Barnett,
Don't adopt people.
is that mental hospital?
That is the message.
Most of the men there, they're not particularly good with children. And they're not particularly good with girls.
With what? Cat, what do you say?
What am I saying? Say it.
He said they're not particularly good with children and not particularly good with who?
Girls.
Oh.
They're probably all pedophiles. Or sex offenders.
Who is? Who is?
She talked about sex and we started to tell her that's not appropriate.
These are crazy
We
people.
called her being very sexual. She was talking about dating, you know, wanting to have a boyfriend. We were excited. We were very excited. The language that she was using, you know, with the males, I was shocked. There was a mention of her doing sexual favors for money.
So, after a month, they need her out of there because bad things are about to happen with all the men. Take her home.
All the men?
She's
Jeez.
gonna kill us. Can't kill her.
Yes, they can. This is stupid.
The danger we've been in isn't going anywhere anytime soon and can't be controlled.
I'm Beth Karras. I'm an attorney in New York. I'm a former prosecutor. What hooked me in this case was just the strange story. She's had various diagnoses, the last one being sociopath. But, in my opinion, there are questions, a lot of questions with this case. The fundamental rule in all investigations is that you follow the facts, wherever they may lead you. There are some things that just sort of sit right with me. If she's actually threatening to kill them, why go to the police?
Children can be taken into custody if they're.
Christine and Michael don't call the police. But the neighbor, who was very concerned, does call Department of Child Services, who bring in the police in March of 2012. They get a report of child neglect of Natalia.
March comes. Christine and Natalia are having the Who Are You fight. Christine wants Natalia to
Can't help but listen to what's going on, but
places she's been.
will I be leaving Jordan's face unfinished? Yes, I will be, because the main painting pretty much is this way, or the main image, that my reference image is pretty much the same. I mean, I'm actually pretty accurate with compared to the base image I'm using.
Natalia's out there crying, finally, like 3 hours into this. I took the scene I can't do with. Get up. I'll let Natalia in. I get back to her room. One of the neighbors called CPS. So, CPS shows up at the door. Child Protective Services with a detective from the local police department. They come in. They got this call, and we're collecting.
They didn't play nice.
The police department. Within 10 minutes, takes a look at the surroundings, takes a look at the paperwork, listens to us speak for a couple minutes, and he immediately realizes he's not here to protect Natalia. He's here to protect my sons. He knows instantly they're in grave danger. Detective Klaus, he conducts an investigation, comes back and visits us. He's got a picture of Natalia from when she was naturalized here as a U.S. citizen in 2008, when she first got here from the Ukraine. He's got her naturalization information, basic vital statistics from that.
Natalia admitted to Detective Klaus that she was told her new birthday at the orphanage in Ukraine. That her birthday being 2003. Another thing, Detective Klaus showed her a picture of herself from when she entered the country, but she did not recognize herself in the picture.
He's not 100% convinced of what the picture is. Another picture kids mentions to us is morality. 4 years ago, when she was naturalized, she is growing centimeters. I don't care what kind of physical hair. If you're a 6-year-old, you still grow.
Not necessarily.
He informs us he believes that her Ukrainian birth certificate is all bogus. Here's his business card to an attorney. You need to go to them immediately. You need to correct her age.
Are you on her side, Kat?
Correct her age.
Sound like you're on her side.
I actually am.
Why?
According to the
I
other.
never thought of such a thing. It never even crossed my mind. I just thought we have an adult who's masquerading as an 8-year-old, and that's what it is. So he explains to me.
I think the real truth lies somewhere in between.
Well, yeah.
She wasn't an adult, but a teenager.
Also a psychopath.
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
How do we know that all this is true about her threatening them with a knife? We don't know that.
True. Okay. All right. Fine.
And if a mental hospital wouldn't let her stay there, that means she was okay. Legally, a state mental institution cannot release somebody back into society if they're not okay. I know that's a fact. So there's so many inconsistencies, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, but you know that people, you know that facts.
We manipulate, yes. I know that.
Or you were saying that's a law. But people don't always stick with the law. Just like it's a law that that you always have to, that you can't deny people with emotional support animals, right? It's a law. It's a fact.
Yes.
But people do it all the time. So,
What they do, somebody that's been denied their emotional support animal?
yes. Nothing. Good. Well, the person didn't pursue it.
Oh, well, they didn't pursue it.
So, but if it happens, it probably happens all the time. And then the worst case scenario is the police come and then they're on the side of the people. And the worst case scenario is the company that denies it gets sued and shut down, right? That's the worst case. But honestly, it's probably not as. But what I'm saying is these things, just because it's supposed to be a law doesn't mean people follow it. People drive over the speed limit all the time.
Of course they do. And if someone wants to arrest them or give them a ticket, they can.
Right.
So, based on what you've heard so far, you're on the side of the parents.
Yeah, they adopted somebody. They're pretty sure that their adoption papers are fake. And they were murderous and hurt their real kids, potentially. So, yeah, I am on the side of the parents.
Okay. I was too when I watched the
But?
Until they presented the other side of the story. See, what they do is they present one side of the story first.
Okay.
And then they'll present the other side.
Okay.
After you see the other side is when you have to decide, it's like a court case.
Yeah.
Who's telling the truth?
Yeah.
One side tells one story, the other side tells their side of the story.
Yeah.
If you only heard one side of the story, of course, that's what you're going to think. But then
True.
the other side.
Good point. All right.
Okay.
So Misa says, is that a law in California? I think it's a law everywhere, right? Like people's emotional support, poor three little black holes. Adam's face is fully rendered. That's true. Property taxes lowered, amazing. Will I be leaving Jordan's face? So I'm not talking about the sketch of Jordan's face. I'm talking about the actual like reference image. If you look up the reference image that this is based on, you can't really see Jordan's face. It really is just a bunch of light on his face and then a little bit of shadow and just barely a nose.
To prove she's an adult. And that she definitely has a fake Ukrainian birth certificate.
So maybe I might add a little bit more detail, but for now,
Again, we reached out to the adoption agency. We asked them to help give us contact information for Rowan's family. We've got to find out what's going on here. They said, no, we can't. The answer is always, it is a closed adoption. The other family does not want to surrender any information to you. It is not until a phone call from the secretary of the adoption agency a little bit later that day. And she said, I can't tell you where she's from, but check her luggage closer. Really inspect those backpacks. So go upstairs in the house, get the backpacks out, start rummaging through it. There was a little ID tag inside of her bag when we adopted her that had the original family's information. What are their names? Gary and Diane Chacon.
We won championship. You celebrated. Win twice. We call you a hero.
Yeah, so at 6:30 I'm gonna make the burger.
all right,
You don't want to eat.
The trophy
I'll eat.
speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of brands.
Where's my ultramarine blue? That's ivory black. I'm running out of ultramarine blues. Small tubes of ultramarine blues.
Which is why over 90% of customers will recommend Sapa to friends and family. Sapa, luxury mattresses made of
Where businesses thrive, so do our communities.
You know what? I'm just gonna lay some big chunks of color here. A big chunk of yellow right here. Big chunk of white right here. Right here, right there.
Unlock new possibilities for your business and community. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Contact one of our local business specialists at bankofamerica.com/.
What is this gonna do, huh? What happens now? Is this too crazy? Are these colors gonna get too wild?
We know, according to records, Natalia starts her early life in an orphanage in Ukraine. But all the conflicts in this case boil down to Natalia's age. Is she a child or is she an adult? In 2020, a Ukrainian investigator went to track down Natalia's biological mother, Anna Gogh, and found Anna Gogh's sister, Tatiana.
Well, I want more white around Jordan. Or this little paint booger there.
Слышишь, тут приехали молодые люди насчет твоей Наташи. Они хотят там с тобой пообщаться, сейчас я им дам трубочку, пообщайтесь.
This woman, Anna Gogh, who is supposedly Natalia's biological mother, just said she's been going through this saga for 17 years. Well, she said that in 2020. Do the math. That means Natalia may really have been born in 2003, which is what she has said all along. And in 2008, Gary and Diane Scott from New Hampshire adopted Natalia. By 2009, it's possible that they found her behavior to be too hard to manage. I don't know, but to suppose it's clear they wanted to unload her. Closed adoption giving virtually no information about her. They made a mistake though. They left their identifying information on one of the luggage tags, so the Barnetts were able to track her down.
Within 6 months of being there, they were taking her to local conventions and trying to give her away.
Give her away.
You're a couple, you don't have a kid, you want one? Here's one right here. We found two little families we tried to give her to.
Oh my God.
Here for the kids for 4 months, maybe social about $30,000. Then we didn't have it.
Oh my God.
What?
They tried to sell her.
They can sell her?
The family tried to sell her for $30,000.
Wow. Ooh.
My name's Judith Irving, and I'm from a little town in Indiana. And I don't know what else to say. Okay, can we start over? I'm so sorry. Oh,
They kept that in.
Natalia. The first time I heard about Natalia, I actually received an email from Little People of America. Little People of America is an organization where people with dwarfism can meet and come together once a year, and we're there for each other. We help support each other, we're friends with each other. It's often when we meet our husbands or wives or our best friend. Little People of America told me that there's a Cohen's had adopted a little girl. She has dystrophic dwarfism and they're trying to find a home for her. When I saw her picture, it was like I instantly fell in love. This little girl, Natalia, she's meant to be my daughter. I heard she loved to dance and sing and be creative, and I was like, oh, she just meant to be with me. Diane and her husband gave the legal fees and we could adopt this little girl. If I remember right, she told me that adoption costs from Ukraine were around $25,000. And I find it kind of crazy that you would adopt a child and spend $25,000 and only spend a year with that child. So I find it odd. I don't know if there was a financial scam or not. Decided, I don't think we can do this financially, and I feel like if you're going to adopt, both parents have to be totally. But it broke my heart. So, sorry. It just, when I wasn't able to adopt her, I just wanted her to be happy. Until I found out what happened to her.
Is she alive? Natalia.
They don't know that.
You don't know what happened to her?
They didn't, it wasn't clear to them.
Natalia, they moved on really quickly to the next couple.
This is a mystery. It's a true mystery.
Is what happened to Natalia.
Yeah, what happened to her?
And are the parents in jail for making her disappear?
Nope.
This is my husband, Dwayne Ferris. Back in 2009, we received an email from the Little People of America asking us if we might be interested in a possible adoption of a little girl named Natalia. And she hooked us up with the money. She had asked us if we would cover her previous medical expenses. So right then and there, we started to get concerned. We thought it was some kind of weird scam, or she kind of came across as a used car salesman, so we were trying to sell Natalia to us. So we said, heck no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to pay for anything that occurred in the past. And I think she harped on it a little bit, but then eventually she gave that up.
That we were concerned about is why Diane adopted her and so quickly wanted to basically get rid of her. We were concerned about coming from an orphanage.
1995. If you order the child in the next 15 minutes, probably an adult that looks like a child. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting story. Kind of, you know, it's hard to say what happened.
Miss Diane said no. Why would someone, if they didn't have anything to hide, why would they refuse the psychological evaluation?
Yeah, definitely shady, weird, definitely red flags. But I'm still interested. I still want to pursue. So we're driving to this lake house in New Hampshire where we're meeting Diane and Natalia. And it reminded me of Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh, from that movie.
It was kind of spooky.
Oh, from Jason.
We had some concerns because the driveway was super steep and it was gravel, and us, you know, having physical disabilities just like Natalia, we were wondering, wow, how did she get up and down the gravel driveway? Because when we first saw Natalia, she didn't have shoes at all. She has these slippery braces on her feet. And if you're stepping on pebbles, it could definitely hurt your feet. So we were just really surprised she didn't have any shoes because you could fall down gravel easily without proper equipment. But we thought that she was really adorable. She was about to turn 6 years old and she only lived her stated range. But we really had a feeling that there was something bad going on. We're both Christians, and everybody, in our opinion, has God-given natural gifts, and one of his gifts is the gift of discernment. You know, to the regular, average world, it would just be more of a sixth sense or an intuition.
I have a really good lie detector, I guess. But Diane and Natalia, I knew that they were like, she was withdrawn and quiet and didn't engage.
Yeah, she would look up first to make sure her answers were appropriate for Diane.
And then you asked her what the Ukrainian orphanage was like, and she gave an uncoached answer. It was obvious.
Yeah, she said it sucked.
It sucked.
And then Diane interrupted her and seemed surprised that she said that. He said, oh no, it wasn't that bad. You were fine.
It was almost like Diane had to give her approval to come out. And then as soon as she said what she was coached to say, she went back in. I've never seen another person do that. Even in movies. Even in The Exorcist. It's scary. I can feel evil. I can remember.
So now it's the other side,
Whether it was the situation.
right? Now it's what the family was.
There was something wrong with
But this
her.
is the first adoptive family.
And I think that's the first time
Oh.
I've ever completely trusted that intuition.
Is that what she's supposed to
Right? That's when I made the decision to work this way. As hard as it was to make that decision, I knew I was not free. When I told her, I was like, I can't put my finger on it. There's something wrong. When you called Diane and told her we weren't coming back, then the story just got crazier. But she went ballistic on the phone. She was furious. I could hear her through the phone yelling, and so I was like, okay, we need to go, because no telling what she was gonna do. She was nuts.
Natalia or the family?
The family.
We won championship. You're celebrating.
That's why this is such a
They
strange
call you a hero.
Nobody.
They say words like legend.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
But once the other families come, they can vouch of whether she's a horrible kid or not, right?
Right. Oh, there's so much. This is so involved. When she ended up being on her own, she became friends with the family. And they took her in. They didn't adopt her, but they took care of her. they treated her like a child and did everything for her, but they all got along. Like they had other foster kids there, and there were no problems. So who knows? There's no answer. It's just a mystery. But it's
Of who the good guy, bad guy is?
no, there's no good guy or bad guy. It's hard to tell.
Huh?
You see the whole thing. It's hard to tell.
Oh.
You just watch parts of it, you know, you hear someone telling their side of the story.
Right.
It sounds legitimate. But if you don't watch it all, you're not going to have all the information.
Right.
And I think you have to dig deeper to get.
True. I'm wondering about the colors of this. Enjoy. Have a great week. Find your pronouns. Live in California. Happy belated Mother's Day. Take care, cat. He says. Get up and dance. All right, Michael. The question is, did you get up and dance? Cat and I went dancing salsa last week. It was the last time you went dancing, Michael. Like the words, but what about the action?
Let's eat. Let's eat. Oh, what's in the oven?
What is it? Oh, it's one more piece of fried chicken, probably. The other day. Did you throw it away?
Yeah.
Good. Speaking of which, the cats like the greenies.
Good.
Good treats. At least Scout does.
Good news.
Problem with the treats though is Pookie. Pookie's like the most timid food scrounger.
Is she?
Yeah, compared to Fern. Fern goes after it. She cries for it. And Scout, like, he just takes it, you know what I mean? He doesn't like beg, but if you put it up to him, he'll eat it, you know? He's just chill. He's like, everything goes to Scout when he wants it.
Because he's a boy. Girls like to cater to the boy.
But Pookie, like, you have to separate her and, like, give it to her when the other two are, like, heavily feasting.
She's not going to get it.
Right, exactly.
I don't know, I might have to get the french fries cooked first.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oven. Went to bed early tonight.
Work tomorrow?
Yeah. But I'm tired. Let's get a good night's sleep.
I have a SAG event tomorrow.
You? What time?
1.
Better get an earlier drive then.
Yep.
Supposed to say Okay. Okay, it's gonna be like 20 minutes.
So his fingers are disappearing a little bit, so I have to bring these back. I'll have to revive his fingers. Gangsters don't dance that boogie. Want to thicken some of the colors in these areas here. And let's just grab some of these paints and, you know, bring them down a little bit. Take some of this and kind of bring it around the sun. Oh yeah, I should have taken more of this and brought it around the yellow area. Kind of make it seem like it's spreading outwards. All right, let's see. It's very vibrant. This is a very vibrant painting. Very vibrant. Does it need all this pizzazz? Does it need all this energy? Not really. But it is interesting though. The sun's not round enough. Add some roundness to it, shape it around. Shape it a little bit. Let's see if we can add some blue into here.
You still working on these?
Yeah. Peanuts don't go bad. Don't go bad for a while.
A few in here.
Huh?
See a few in here. 8 peanuts.
You counted them? Alright, then throw it away. If you feel the need to throw it away, throw it away. I don't know if I will. Vibrant thing, such a vibrant thing. Yeah. It was very vibrant. Okay, you know what? We're going to take a break on this. And we're going to start another painting. I had some inspiration today to start a new painting.
Can you fix this cups? Oh my God. Box got stuck. All right. Alexa, set
Still just carving away at this imagery here. Try to pull out some of the darker blues and bring it into here so that it's like a consistent color.
We're gonna put that tube thing somewhere else. Get rid of it.
Dynasty, but when you've won it all 7 times, the trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full line of the brand.
Let's get some more color into here, color variety around the head here. Maybe down into here a little bit too. We could bring some of this into the dirt area, give it like a white blue, bluish glow here. Let's see how that looking. Yeah, a little bit of a gray blue look. Just enough. And then let's see. All right, it's looking okay. I think what I got to do is start our next painting here. So let's put this off to the side and open up our new references.
Within 3 months, my hair was fuller. It's longer. It's so much different.
I had more scalp coverage. It was so nice to be noticed that my hair after adding up to so many years.
Start your hair growth journey at utrechtOil.com.
I figure you always had the best sense of fashion.
Christine Bryant tried to contact me.
Let's see, so I'm using an app called PureRef. And what PureRef allows you to do is to clear, it basically makes your references a full screen. It's a very helpful tool I learned from one of my mentors. But yeah, basically it allows you to get a full screen image of only your references. So it's kind of cool. And you can lock that onto your screen so that you don't have any distractions. And that can be so helpful sometimes. And it saves it all however you want it, which is very helpful.
I can't put my finger on it, but there's something wrong. When you called Diane to tell her we weren't coming back, then the story just went crazier. Because she went ballistic on the phone. She was furious. I could hear her through the phone yelling. And so I was like, okay, we need to go. Don't tell her she was going to leave her alone. She was nuts.
We won championship. You're celebrating? Win twice. They call you a hero. 3 times. They say words like legend and dynasty. But when you've won it all 7 times, the trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full line of the brand trucks. Right? 7-time winner of Motor Trend's trophy.
If you know luxury, it's not just a word, it's people. Sofa mattresses supports all types of sleeps. Luxury is handcrafted and assembled in American factories and brought directly to you with our complimentary in-home delivery and sleep supports, which is why over 90% of customers will recommend Sofa to friends and family. Sofa, luxury mattresses for you.
When my hair started to thin, I thought I could leave her. After I gave birth, my hair wasn't even thinning, it was growing.
When I spoke to my dermatologist, he immediately pointed me in the direction of just 11% growth for me in the clinically tested.
Within 3 months, my hair was fuller. It's longer.
You know what? Maybe we could fix something right now. There's this area on this painting that I want to adjust right now. I'm going to go for this ultramarine blue look.
I'm not going to entertain even saying hello to her. The Barnetts claim that Natalia had threatened them. So what if, even if she did threaten them, you're the parent. I'm a teacher of 600 students, some of those really rough families, you know, and I've been told, I'm going to cut you up, you're drinking blood. I've been told all kinds of weird stuff, but I'm not truly scared that that's going to happen. That child is up, so we get that child help. So, yeah, I find actually being scared of a child, when you're full-size grown adult, a little ridiculous.
Well, I started posting on an adoption message board asking about if anybody had any experience. Natalia, what was it, like a year later, that Michael Barnett emailed me out of the blue and said, I think we adopted the little girl you were talking about. And he started to say her name, Natalia, some other things. I was like, yep, that's her. Christine, his wife, wanted to talk to you.
Christine and I kept in touch over Facebook Messenger for several years. It did seem like a lot of shady stuff going on.
Let's see.
Christine Barnett and me, you lied a lot.
All right. We're almost done. We're gonna paint over a couple areas. No, I don't think this needs that shadow up there, but I'm also not gonna fix it right now. And I'll say this basketball kind of looks kind of wacky, so I do want to adjust some of these lines here. Actually, no. If you see something, take care of it right away. Right, Scout? How you doing, pal? How you doing, my cat? What's up, bud?
Issues that she would feel justified.
I talk to you, you get smarter?
Michael and Christine Barnett not only lied to get her into their family, but they also lied to get rid of her. If they wanted to claim she's older than what she is, I mean, I don't know where they came up with that. That's just crazy. Like, who thinks of that?
Detective Thompson told me you need to correct her age. This is our legal recommendation for you.
All right, I need an orange color. I'm gonna do this basketball. I'm gonna do this edit of the basketball here. So let's see what's a good brush for that.
I'm also attaching a photo from August 2010 where it appears she has an adult teeth. It appears for all purposes of our investigation, she is a child.
Okay.
Homesteading report was prepared about the
So is the family that tried to push this idea that she's not a child?
very troubling.
Okay.
Some background information.
So they could have been charged with child.
Asked Michael and Christine if they had ever had any domestic violence or disturbances at home, and they've all said no. The state.
But that's not true, right?
But they rely on self-reporting.
It's not true.
To see if the names ever appeared, because they would have found domestic violence in
Oh.
2003. Years before this home study evaluation. They're fighting. Michael's got Christine in a headlock. And he's pushed her. These are situations that are pretty serious.
It's scary, you know, to think of what could have been and what all the people that secrets are that we don't
Alexa
know
off.
that come to light.
Just doing a paint over of the basketball right now. A nice vibrant orange. You know, basketballs are orange, right? And then eventually, I know that what I probably want to do, actually I want to make this a little bit redder, a little bit, and this yellow. So I want to get rid of this hue. It's like a there's like a, you can see through the orange, sadly, because it's a hue. And the hue means that it's like a, I think it's like a version of the actual, a hue of the actual paint. It's not the actual like solid color. Well, maybe the orange adds a, the red and white adds like a little bit of extra vibrancy to it. Give it more of an apple feel, you know? Kind of signifying, giving a poke at the lore, biblical lore. And there we go. We're going to leave that big red, big round ball. Maybe I won't even paint in the lines. It'll just be a big orange ball. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is right now. And, Kat, how much longer do you think food's ready?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? Really? Okay. You know what? I was going to start another painting, but I don't think I will tonight. Or maybe I will. Let's see. Should I start another painting tonight? Should I do it or not? Do it or not? Do it or not? There's no try. Once I start, yeah, I don't think it'll work if I have to stop in 8 minutes to eat and stuff. Cat's making a wonderful dinner filled with joy and happiness.
The table.
Huh?
There's a lot of crap on this table. We can't eat.
Okay, can you? I literally said I'm gonna clean up right now.
Oh, I thought you meant you're cleaning up yourself.
I am.
Oh, and the table.
Possibly. Now I don't feel like it because you're making a little deal about it.
You put the stuff on the table.
No,
Why should
just
I do
give
it?
me a few minutes. Jeez.
You have plenty of minutes. You have 8 minutes.
Okay. We wrap up the painting, okay?
I have to remind you of things, baby. That's all I'm doing.
Tell me after I'm done painting.
I thought you were done painting.
Huh?
I thought you were done.
Yeah, and I said I need to clean it up.
I heard that.
Okay, well, let me finish streaming.
I didn't know you were still streaming.
Don't talk to me like, you know,
I thought you were done.
like... Let me finish. Give me a clean table. You can tell me to clean the table after. So this is the problem with streaming, and you have like people that aren't like... it's a quarter of a reality show. All right. Let me revive my mood. Hopefully. I feel like I don't even want to eat this dinner anymore. Out of my pettiness. Huh? What? Might go out and get something. My petty child is coming out. Alright, so wrapping up this painting. Started with a positive note. I guess it's my fault to let it end on a negative note, so don't act like a petty man-child. Unless you really feel like it. I don't know. I don't know why I'm reacting this way. People will analyze this for years. Years to come. Content. All right. Well, everybody, have a very wonderful vibrational day. Don't let people talk down to you. All right. Bye. Take care, everybody.